Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. Of course, obviously, I am extremely late for what you guys are normal to, but we're used to, I guess. Uh, but obviously, I am very under the weather at the moment, and so hence the reason you aren't seeing my picture on this. I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame at the moment. Uh, got up this morning, and my left eye was basically swollen shut, and my right eye is a little better, so I can at least see where I'm going. Fortunately, a shower helped to open my eyes up a little bit, but it's cold compresses and all that. Now, a lot of you guys have asked suggestions, and I appreciate all that. Trust me. But I've been through poison ivy so many times, I pretty much know what I've got to do. So, I've got the prednisone and taking the Benadryl and everything like that. But this is what I want to talk about. We discuss power outages, weather, things like that all the time as practice to find out where your holes are in your preps, right? Yeah, well, I hit the complete failure meter on this one because what did I not have in my preps? Benadryl. And so, of course, my daughter and I went to the store yesterday and basically bought all the Benadryl they had. They had 6 packs of it. We bought all of it. And of course, you can only get 3 at a time. So I bought 3 and she bought 3, and that was that. But it brought to point something that's very important is especially when it comes to your health, what preps do you need to have? And of all things, I know I get poison ivy every year. I had it 3 times in 2020. I had it once last summer. So it's not like this is something new to me. And, how I could not have that in my preps is beyond me. I went upstairs and I felt like a complete idiot when I went into the medicine cabinet and didn't have any. But think about things like that. It's what is something that ails you or could ail you that you need to have? Because if you can't get it, if there's no store for me to go to yesterday to get the Benadryl, I don't get any. And trust me, be happy right now you're not looking at my ugly face, because it's uglier than normal. Uh, but this is the point. A lot of things you can stock, a lot of things you can't. Okay, if you get migraines all the time, get plenty of migraine medicine. If you have severe dry skin, get plenty of aloe or whatever. Whatever things you need. Certain things, sure, you can't. It's hard to store, a lot of insulin or anything, but having the medicines or whatever that you're going to need to make you at least more comfortable are going to be very important, because in any sort of situation, even as messed up as I am right now, sure, I can take it easy and sit in my chair and not do a whole lot right now. But if there was any sort of situation that I'm trying to deal with, I still would have to be 100% on my game. And, it would be a lot more difficult. So, think about those things like, stuff for athlete's foot or jock itch or anything like that that could potentially be very uncomfortable if you had no way to treat it, and at least a little bit more comfortable if you do. Like I said, it's something that really kicked me in the teeth. I was like, how could you forget this? But, fortunately I was able to get it and corrected my mistake. That's a lot of what we do. What becomes important is you have a situation and you say, okay, the next time I'm not going to have this problem. So obviously I've got whatever I have. Unfortunately, because my poison ivy is all over my face, a lot of you guys said aloe vera or somebody said Vagisil, or I've heard before hemorrhoid cream. I've tried a lot of these things in the past. Some are better than others. Unfortunately, this is all around my eyes, so I really can't do a whole lot without worrying about getting something in my eyes. So it's been, the pills and cold compresses and basically time at this point. So, that's something to really, really pay attention to, what you've got in the way of preps. Think of anything that can possibly happen. We all talk about, gauze and bandages and splints and bleed stop and everything. And again, this goes into what I was saying the other day about romanticizing some of these things. We think of these terrible scenarios that you could have, broken bones or bullet wounds or stab wounds or something, and we all have the stuff we need for that. But what about the day-to-day ailments that we all get from something? Allergies, okay? Do you have plenty of your allergy medicine put back? Do you know alternative treatments for it? We've talked about things like that before, high blood pressure, cholesterol, things like that. These are all things that are going to be very pertinent and could also be fatal if you don't have a way to take care of it. Okay, like a lot of you guys mentioned with my poison ivy here, don't burn that wood. Getting the smoke in your lungs is, terrible. Trust me, I know. About 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I was helping my ex-mother-in-law cut down some trees, and my ex-sister-in-law decided to burn the limbs and the branches, not realizing that it had poison ivy all over it, and then I wound up in the hospital for it. Wasn't hospitalized, but I was hooked up to all sorts of tubes and everything, and on all sorts of medications till they could set me free. But I mean, getting poison ivy in your lungs or in your windpipe or whatever is not a fun thing. So, what I'm saying is, think of things that happen to you or could. I mean, for me, Mrs. P and my daughter are not allergic to poison ivy, okay? Doesn't matter for them. Me, I get it terribly. For anything else, like I said, athlete's foot, that's going to hit everybody, so things like Gold Bond powder, that's a prep that everybody should have. Do we think about it? No, it's not really something that comes up on your mind. But go through what you have. Take a look at what you would need in a situation and have some of it put back. I won't necessarily say it may save your life, but it'll sure make life a little bit more comfortable when you're as uncomfortable as I am at the moment. Have a good one, guys. We'll see how I feel tomorrow and what else happens in the world, but we will talk to you soon. Pinball out.